Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our second session. And yes, we have Debbie here. We have Coach Debbie here. Coach Debbie is one powerhouse. She's going to come here. She's going to be talking to us today, especially to stay-at-home moms, to women that feel like, okay, they've stayed at home for a while, and they feel like they've lost themselves. Are you that woman that you feel like you've lost yourself? Coach Debbie is here with us. And today, she's going to be coming with her fire. I know one important thing. Let me give you one secret. Coach Debbie, this week is her birthday week. Yes. And she's in the fourth floor, but she's just looking like someone that is 16. Her glow is glowing from the inside to the outside. Coach Debbie, you're going to be telling us the secrets. That soap that you are using, that water that you are drinking, cut soap for us. You're going to be telling us what it is today. So before Coach Debbie starts to talk, we're just going to introduce her to tell you a little bit about her.
Ekwo is a transformational coach, speaker, author, and founder of Your Discovery Coach. She is passionate about helping women, especially stay-at-home moms and women in midlife, rediscover their identity, rebuild confidence, and step into a life of purpose and freedom. This comes about because of her own journey of feeling invisible in motherhood to becoming an empowered mentor. Debbie combines storytelling, practical tools, and soulful guidance to inspire women just like you to start living fully and intentionally. Let us welcome Mrs. Debbie Ekwo to the platform. You're most welcome, Miss Debbie.
Welcome, Debbie. Welcome, Debbie. It's so good to have you here today. It's such a privilege to have you here. So come on, Coach Debbie. Tell us, what is that secret? How do you do it?
The secret is you have to pay me.
Oh, please, you need to give us that secret too. How are you in your late 40s now? And come on, see how see the glow now. See this. See how you look like one sweet sister. You really need to give us, that soap or whatever they are using. You need to tell us.
You need to pay me. It's not for free.
We're all here now to pay you. So please spill it out. We want to hear.
I mean,
So over to Coach Debbie.
yeah.
While I just go to the back seats.
No worries. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Coach Eunice has invited me to talk about the woman's blueprint, restoring the woman within and releasing limiting belief. And this is a topic that, if anyone knows, I don't know if I can be seen and heard. Can I be seen? Can I be heard? If anybody knows me, this is a topic I'm very passionate about because it's easy to stay small. It's easier to stay small. It's easier to stay buried. It's easier to say nobody knows me, nobody knows my name. And now it's not only, about people knowing you or knowing your name. Can I have the ratios in so that I know that because when I disappear on the screen, I don't feel like I can see myself, and then I don't know if I'm talking to. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. It's easy to stay small. It's easy to stay buried. It's easy to stay unseen. It's easy to stay invisible. It's easy to just say, I don't want any trouble. Let me pass through life. But I realize that you're not doing yourself a favor. Neither are you doing the women around you a favor. Neither are you doing your family a favor. Neither are you doing your daughters a favor. Because that's the thing. That's the cycle that gets recycled all the time. And then at the end of the day, there's a resentment. There's a regret. The regret of a life not lived is heavy. And that's the reason I am so passionate about this topic. I'm so passionate about releasing limiting beliefs, healing your inner mind, inner self, healing your inner child, finding who you are, finding purpose, rediscovering yourself, coming out of invisibility is something I'm passionate about. You heard Eunice say, it may have taken me so long to get to where I am, and that's okay. But the day you wake up, as my mother would say, that's your morning. So don't ever say things to yourself and tell yourself that time has passed. No, this thing these people are talking about is not for me. It's not true. Let's go on to our slides. So I just want to introduce myself again. I've been introduced as Debbie, and I will be exploring, as I've said, the emotional and mental healing, breaking free from cycles of pain and learning to nurture inner peace. That inner peace, we all need it too. We all need it. And my heart for this talk is very simple: to remind you that healing is possible, to show you how science, faith, and intentional practices can help us step into freedom. So you see, when the Bible says that do not be anxious, there's also science that backs up that do not be anxious. So it's not like God said, some people say God is not real, God is not real, God is not there. It's not true. Even science knows that anxiety kills you. It causes diseases for you. It causes stress for you, high cortisol. That's why you find some women, they're constantly snacking, they're constantly eating. It's a stress response. They're constantly on the hypervigilant side. They're constantly doing things that sabotage. They are becoming visible and they're rising from ruin. They keep on sabotaging. So when the Bible says do not fear, when the Bible says, do not be afraid, when the Bible says things like that, there's a reason for it. Because even in science, these things are known to kill you faster, than you think. So let's go on. I've always known that change is possible. Always, I'm a firm believer in possibility of change. I don't care how old you are. I think anybody can change. I don't think anybody is too hard for change. I don't think anybody is too far gone for change. I don't also think that anybody, cannot be broken. But yes, but over time, I've also discovered that change is not just emotional and it's not just spiritual. It's also biological. So it's not just like, it was, when I was younger, it was easier for me to pray for patience or to pray for, pray for this, pray for that. But I've also found that beyond that praying, what else can I do? What else is available for my change? Are you saying that people who don't pray can't change? That's not true. So even, biologically, there's change that is possible. Hi, Lisha. Oh, Lisha is here. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. There's change that is possible. Our brains were wired with something that were called dendrites, tiny branches that grow and connect every time we form a new thought or habit. It's just like branches sprouting on a tree. Our brains can grow new connections that carry the possibility of peace, healing, and freedom. To get to that, you see, it's gradual. So we're going to come to that. It's gradual. There's a possibility that can happen. Your brain can grow new dendrites. It can grow new neural pathways to change the narrative of what you think. Some people just say, that's how I am. I'm constantly angry. I'm constantly upset. I'm constantly tired. But that's not true. Change is possible. Biologically, emotionally, spiritually, change is possible. Just stay with me. So when we talk about healing today, we are not just talking about ideas. We are talking about real physical rewiring happening inside of you. Real physical rewiring that is happening inside of you. One step at a time, one point at a time, one action at a time. But you have to stay with it. Let's just go on. Why this matters? Many of us live in cycles of pain, silent wounds, generational trauma. We have limiting beliefs. These cycles are not just in our history, they live in the pathways of our brain. So I was reading a research, right? And it was about Black American women back in America. So Black American, obviously in America, that was silly. Or Black American women back in America. And because of slavery, there's a narrative that a lot of the women were carrying. It was so interesting. It was, I don't know how many women were interviewed. I can't remember, but it was a study. And they were interviewing women and they said they've learned. So, they brought them into America. They brought them into slavery. So the women were like, we need to be strong. We need to be, we need to be tough. We can't cower in, these are the things, we need to put up this bold front so that our oppressors will not keep on oppressing us. So when that first generation of women died, they passed on something to the next. They passed on something to the next. So you hear a lot of them say things like, I don't need anybody. I don't need help. Super mom, strong schemer. It's not like they don't need help or they don't need anybody, but they've been told that everybody is a suspect. Can you see where the history can land them, can land anyone? We've been told, so it might not even be, narratives change over time. When you tell a story, you tell an oral story, as you're passing the story down, the story gets transformed, the story gets morphed, the story gets changed, and then the next generation tells another story. So they were saying these women, in fact, there was one particular one that really, really, stood out for me. And then the lady said, she just knew that she needed to work so hard to prove herself, because that was the kind of climate her mom was in. You needed to work hard to prove that you're a woman. You needed to work out to prove that black is strong. You needed to work. You see, they say black don't crack. Those type of things. These are narratives. And it was so interesting, because even though that's Black Americans, it also translates even in our own culture. What do you, when you're if for instance you're in the diaspora, you tell yourself you need to work so hard, because there's something that tells you that the black person needs to work harder than the white person, because you know what, we don't stand a chance. These narratives that we have carried, these things that we are born out of, what has been handed over to us, they would beat you because they want you to be, educated. They will beat you because, as you see, these other people on the other side, I would say this, some of them don't even go to as much school as we go to. We keep on learning. We keep on, pouring ourselves into our education, just because we think that we can't rise without it. So there's this constant need to try and prove yourself. These are histories. These are generational traumas. These are things that we have carried. Now we are passing it on to our children. I went to Nigeria some time ago, and a friend of mine was beating her 4-year-old for not being able to read ABC. And I said in my head, I was like, wow, for those of us who are in TIP, we know that, that's a no. Even if I wasn't in TIP, I knew that was a no. And I was like, you're beating her. She was like, she can't write A to Z. My own 5-year-old, I'm not bothered about whether she can write A to Z, because that's not the goal. But you see, we don't know these things. So we are constantly on that path of, you need to do well. If it's not doctor, if it's not lawyer, if it's not engineer, you are not enough. That narrative that tells us that we keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. These are cycles that are embedded in our history, embedded as pathways in our brain. So you don't even understand certain things. You don't understand why you do certain things. You don't understand what pushes you. You don't even understand why you choose the choices you make, or why you make the decisions that you make. You don't understand what's pushing you. But there's a neural pathway that has translated from one generation to another generation that tells you that, oh no, prove yourself. Or even tells you as a woman, culturally, you're supposed to be, my mom drummed it into my head, your place, a woman's place is in the kitchen. She said, no matter what you go and study PhD, study this, your place is in the kitchen. So they have drummed us certain narratives, and we don't understand why we stay at the back. For some of us that stay at the back, why we are so timid, why we are so afraid, why we are always in a cycle of rat race. We don't understand it. But there's a narrative that was stolen to us. I mean, that was given to us. There was a narrative that says, no, don't talk, shush, hush. There's a narrative. That narrative was passed down. So you decided you will not be like your mother. But honestly speaking, when you look at your life right now, you are still carrying the remnants of who she was. There is change that is possible, but you also need to understand where you are coming from. Until I wrote my book, I wrote a book called Triggers. It's kind of partly my story, largely imagined, but it was me releasing narratives that has been spoken to me. Narratives. Until you know your story, until you know your background, you know your mother's background, you know your grandmother's background, you may not understand why you are still cycling in the same cycle. It's dangerous. It's dangerous to live life without knowing your history. Let's go on. But the good news is that those pathways are not fixed. Yes, the older you go, the harder it might be to change, but it's not impossible to change. Healing grows new dendrites, new branches that create new choices. You heard the previous speaker when she was doing her question. I couldn't listen to all her session because I was coming from somewhere. But when she was answering her questions and answers, she said she was talking about her structure of her day. I was just smiling. Those choices, you think they just come like that? They come from healing. They come from a healed person. They come from somebody who has touched base with her reality. I gave a talk once and I talked about when your nervous system, you don't reset your nervous system, you cannot have structure because you're constantly there's this unsettledness about you. You can't understand why you write a routine, but you cannot keep a routine. You don't understand it. There's an unsettledness about the nervous system that has been passed on. And if you don't liberate yourself from it, if you don't find healing, you will not understand how it is to put an alarm for everything. You will put an alarm, but you will still not do it. You won't understand how it is to operate without chaos, that your kids can go to school and there's no chaos in the morning, that they can come back from school and there's no chaos in the house. I'm not talking about children being children. I'm talking about chaos, that your kids will no longer live in a place of chaos. You won't understand it because your nervous system is constantly in fight, flight, or fight mood. You don't understand why you keep frozen, why you stay frozen. You have decided now it's September 29. Sorry, it's not 29. My birthday is 29. It's September 27. And you had told yourself January 1st that you were going to start exercising, that you were going to start eating right, that you were going to start doing the right things, that you're going to start drinking water in the morning. As Kojemo said, she said the third thing she does, or was it the fourth thing, that she drinks water. You told yourself you're going to do this thing, but you cannot find yourself doing it because you are in that stuck nervous system, because you haven't found healing. It's a dangerous place to be, because that is how life goes on. And that's how people find themselves at 60 years old, 7-year-olds, and all they have for life is the regret of a life not lived. Let me not go there. So healing is not about breaking free for yourself only. It's about creating new possibilities for your children and for generations to come. It's about creating new possibilities. You can imagine a child who doesn't need to go to trauma house. I mean, not trauma house. No, sorry. Who doesn't need to go to therapy because she had you as a mom and you were a healed mom. You can imagine having a child who finds her destiny as a 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 13-year-old, and just starts to grow in it and is not 45 years old looking for purpose. You can imagine that. So when you heal, you're not choosing to heal just for yourself. You're choosing to heal when you rise, as Maya said. He said you're not rising just for yourself. You're rising for the women around you. You're rising for the girls around you. The only reason we have girls who cannot tell their left from their right, who need men to validate them, is because they don't know who they are. But when a child grows up in your hands and knows who she is because you have found yourself, you know who you are. You know that you're a destiny carrier. You know the thing that God has said about your child. You know the thing that God has said about you. You set that child into the world and she sets her world on fire. Kai! What are we talking about? So the healing is not, I'm not giving you a choice. I'm telling you that I would rather fire you today. You find the healing for your soul. You find the purpose for your soul. You rise from that, that trauma or whatever it is. And you tell yourself enough is enough. But there are things that you will need to be done. So our journey for today we'll walk through 3 areas where healing is powerful. Obviously, we are not going to be doing any deep work because 45 minutes doesn't cut a healing course or healing class. I'm just going to be giving you the icing on the top. When you need healing, when you find healing, you'll find it. So it's not a one-off 45-minute talk. It's not a one-off 45-minute class. No, it's not that. You will find it. You will stay in it. You will fail. You will rise. You will tell yourself, no matter how you fail, no matter how it's hard, you will do the hard things. Because it's better for you to do the hard things now than for you to find out at the end of your life that you're resentful because you haven't achieved anything. And that's a lot. You see, that's the thing I find with women, a lot of women who don't live their dreams. They grow up, they're even bitter with their children. My mom, I will get home, my mom will say things like, I gave up my life for you. Oh, interesting. There was a trend that was going on Instagram. I said that on my Friday Live on Friday, and I said that it was so interesting to see. So the thread was, there's a door open, and then the girl says, if I wish I wasn't born, because if I was never born, I would have seen my mom live the best life that she could live. But I was born and my mom gave up her life for me. So the door is, do you wish you were not born? Run out that door. Do you love that you were born? Stay in the video. A lot of girls were running out that door. I hope that would not be our girls. They didn't see us live our lives, so they started to regret. So they started to carry the regret of us being born. Instead of, if my mom wasn't born, if I wasn't born, my mom would have been a happier person. My mom would have been a joyful person. My mom would have been a more loving person if I wasn't born. Are your children going to bear the regret of being born just because you said you were going to shut up yourself from fulfilling your destiny and your purpose? So when you rise, when you find yourself, when you come out of your invisibility narrative, there's something it does to that girl child or that boy child that you have. It gives them courage to fly. It gives them courage to live. So this is not a choice. Because it's what beside us. If children are regretting that they were born just because they are children, it is what beside us. Let's continue. So releasing limiting beliefs, and like I've said today, it's not a class it's a class for just giving you the tip on the iceberg. You will go and find that healing if you need that healing. Releasing limiting belief, reconnecting with your inner child, and taking steps toward trauma recovery. After we explore each one, I'll show you how your brain, if there's time, because I've seen that I've already taken 20 minutes, and I apologize. And we will explore each one. I'll show you how your brain, through these amazing dendrites, literally makes space for peace and wholeness. So limiting beliefs, releasing limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are silent scripts we live by. They are lies that are like, I'm not enough. How many of us are on that table? I'm not enough. How would they start come and do this? There are people that are better than me. There are people that have more certificates than me. Or there are people that can talk more than me. Or there are people that have more experience than me. Those lies that keep you on the benches. Oh, I'll never change. I've tried. They said, all those people that say that it's possible to stop hearing. All those people that, you do yimu when you hear people talking. You do, it's not my kind that they're talking about, Jerry. It's other people. Not my kind. That's how I am. That's how I was born. All thoughts that are like overgrown branches in your brain. Dendrites that keep firing the same painful message. They keep telling you the same painful thing, keeping you in a cycle of what? Cycle of being stuck. But when you begin speaking truth, when you start to say to yourself, you start to affirm yourself, you start to believe what otherwise about yourself, like I'm enough, I'm worthy. Why are you worthy? It's not just because you're worthy. You're worthy because there was someone who found you worthy enough to die for you. There was somebody who found you worthy enough to lay down his life for you. It's not just because you're worthy. It's not just because you're enough. Because the Bible says things like, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Without him, in him I move, I live, and I have my being. So when you don't understand how you are connected to you see, when the Bible says that you were created in God's image and likeness, he knew what he was saying. But something tells you that you're broken. Something tells you that no. But you realize that it's not about the brokenness. It's about who laid down his life for your brokenness. It says, it's to tell yourself things like, I'm capable of, in fact, there was something that happened to me 2 weeks ago, and the old Debbie would have gone on and on and on and saying, you were silly, you shouldn't have done this, you shouldn't have done that, And I just told myself, I made a mistake, and so what? I beg, nobody died. I made a mistake because the woman, there was another person involved, and she was just ranting and raking at me. And I was like, well, auntie, you'll be all right. I made a mistake. I've corrected my mistake. I packed wrong. It's not my fault that, Mr. Eddie decided to buy a very big car. Sometimes parking for me is very hard. But yes, I've packed wrongly. She told me I packed wrongly. I removed the car and I, did front, back, and I parked well in the tiny space given to us. I've done the mistake. Let me move on. But that old mind that tells you, sit down, marinate yourself in feeling bad. Look at how they're talking to me. Look at how I did. Look at that. When you stay there, but when you find healing, other people's opinion of you, sticks less. It sticks less. Other people's opinion of you sticks less. You don't understand what healing does for you. You find yourself, you find peace, even in chaos. When you start to believe that, okay, I have made a mistake, but I am capable of growth. I will grow. I can grow out of it. When you start to believe things like, you grow new dendrites, you now start to, grow new branches. And over time, these new pathways become stronger than the old ones. The thing is that the new pathways has, something that has it. There's a particular tree near my house that my daughter, I didn't even notice, was my daughter that asked me that since she was born, she has never seen leaves on that tree. And I just thought about it. I said, yes, it's true. There's never been leaves on that tree. But you know that when a tree, you see that tree, they said, so I took a picture, I put it on Google Lens, and then I said, please, what kind of tree is it? And why doesn't it have leaves? And then Google Lens explained to me that, the tree was dying, but because the tree is such a, it's an oak tree. He said the tree is dead, but it's an oak tree that it will take time for the carcass to actually fall. It was an eye-opener for me. Some of us, when we don't realize that what we have been carrying is like an oak tree, the old you is like an oak tree, and it's taking time for it to fall, so it hasn't produced leaves. But because the thing is, the carcass is still there, you just think, oh, I can't, this thing cannot work for me, cannot becomes a language, I'm overwhelmed. But you don't even realize that little by little, that old is being flushed out. It's not a day's job. You were like this for 40 years. You were like this for 30 years. How do you expect that 1 year of being in a program or 1 year of sitting in change would happen? So you see, when I Googled that trend, it said that, it takes time for, the roots, because the root is deep. The pruning that happens is a daily, in fact, not daily, it's a minute by minute pruning. It has to happen. But some of you see the carcass and you are afraid that, the carcass has, the carcass is who you are. No, stay with it. There's a pruning process that happens. There's a pruning process that settles you on the inside. There's a pruning process that keeps you sane when the world is running mad. Keeps you sane. Let's go on. So I'd like you to pause for a moment. What's one lie that you've believed about yourself? And what's one truth you can replace it with today? Just think about it. One lie that you have said about yourself, and what word can you use to replace it today? Let's go on, because I have only 15 minutes. It says, our slide 6 says, the inner child work. And each of us, all of us, we carry a younger version of ourselves. A little girl who wanted love, safety, affirmation. When those needs were not met, the pain stayed alive inside of us, shaping how we respond today. Have you seen have you seen social media responses sometimes? The projection that happens. Somebody just said a quiet post, oh, my husband is the best husband in the world. And then somebody just, somebody just responds and says, you don't even know whether he cheats. Projection. Somebody says, oh, I love this dress. And then everybody starts to attack. I feel so, for me to be on social media, I had to tell God, I said, God, you need to die to yourself, because some comments will keep you away from social media forever. It's vile. It's just a way to tell me. It's just my own way, my own peek at what goes on in people's minds. That little girl, that little boy who wanted love, who wanted safety, who wanted affirmation, didn't get it, and now uses that pain that they feel on the inside of them to respond to people. So your husband, you're not getting along with him because you feel your heart is filled with so much resentment. You don't understand why you're resentful. Maybe you feel like he's progressing in his career and you're not, and you're just here changing diaper, doing this, doing that, doing this, and you're telling yourself, oh, look at, oh, after all, everything that I've gone to, I've gone to study, look at me. You compare yourself with other people. Those pain, you take it out on those children. It's like, I carried you for 9 months. I did this for 9. I did this for you. You emotionally blackmailed people in your house. The pain that you are carrying is that little child at the time that was seeking for love, safety, and affirmation. When you heal your inner child, it's like growing new dendrites of safety and belonging. You're firing new emotions. When you affirm her, when you write her a letter, when you visualize holding her hand, when your brain begins to register safety in places it once only registered fear, you feel that calm comes. Healing is not negotiable, my darling sisters. Healing is not. If you don't heal, you see that pain of an unlived life, it is strong. I've met women in their 60s, in their 70s, some almost 80, and the regret that they carry, the not niceness that is around them, the aura that is around them, you don't understand why they are so nasty. You don't understand why, there's just this something that repels them from younger people. You don't understand the resentment, the pain. Some of them lived in loveless marriages. Some of them just stayed in marriages that they had no business staying because of financial security and children. Don't be that woman. You need to heal. You need to come out of this pain of, see, accepting who you are. See, awareness awareness is deep. First of all, you need to be aware of what you need. If you're not aware of what you need, you can't find results. But so when words come to you to tell you that you need to heal, you need to this, or you're carrying the pain, you're carrying resentment, don't fight it. Don't fight it, because it's in that fighting it that you would not have healing. Don't fight it. Don't fight it. There's nobody on this earth that is perfect. None of us. All of us need certain level of growth or the other. Even people who are talking to you here, you think we're finished growing. We're not finished growing. We are still growing. We're not coming to you in perfection. We're coming to you because we need to, we also have found our path. And even in finding our path, there's a path that shines brighter and brighter. We need to also move. So we're not coming to you because we've gotten it all together, but we're coming to you because we have accepted our faults, we have accepted our frailties, we have accepted healing, we are on the path of healing, and we are here to tell you that healing is not negotiable. If you want this shine, if you want this glow, healing is not negotiable. You will need to find it. You will need to seek for it. You will need to pay for it. Yes, you will need to pay for it. It's not I'm not talking of the one that you go and then is a miracle. No, this is the healing that happens in your everyday living, in your everyday life. It's not miracle. I'm not talking about miracles here. You've gone to healing of service of healing or healing of services. No. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about healing from trauma. And like that tree that I was talking about, you may still be seeing the carcass, and you don't understand that the old is dying, the whole old is going, and then you are still holding on to that carcass. Please, pruning has to happen. Pruning has to happen. Sometimes you may feel like, you are holding on, hanging in there, but stay in your place of healing. See, if I stop doing the things that I need to do to grow, I will go back to that unhealed person. You see, there's a danger. Let me give you an example. There's a danger. You start to learn about healing, you start to heal, you start to become aware, you start to do this, that, and then you say to yourself, nothing is working, and then you want to go back. There's a 4 stages of the butterfly. So you have the caterpillar, you have the chrysalis, you have the cocoon, and then you have the butterfly. You know that sometimes some butterflies don't metamorph into anything because they die at the stage of chrysalis. So they were polyformed caterpillars and polyformed butterflies. So they were nothing. They died from disease. They died from, malformation or something. Don't be a spoiled egg. Not good enough for the chick to hatch. Not good enough for egg for human beings to eat. If you don't stay in the place of healing, if you don't stay in the place of pruning, there is something that happens between being in the incubation and being an egg that can be eaten. Offer to the world for them to eat your food, your services, whatever it is that you offer. Don't stay in that stage that you will kill yourself. Don't stay in that stage that you're not forming the life that you need to live, but you're also not becoming. It's a stage where death happens. Don't die off. I'll just, go on quickly because my time is 5 more minutes or 10, I think. The trauma recovery. Oh, let's do a little bit of reflection. What would you say to your younger self if you were sitting down beside you right now? What would you say to that younger self? What does she need? What does she need? You know how your upbringing was. Don't see, and nobody's asking you to blame your parents. No, Whatever your parents did, but now your future, your own life, it belongs to you. It's in your own hand. We're not blaming. We're only taking information. Like I always say, emotions are data. Things that have happened in the past are data. Take that data and make decisions for your life now and for your future. It's a data. So whatever happened to you, whatever they didn't provide, whatever trauma, they flogged you to leg, they flogged you to do this, they did this, they did that, they didn't do this, they didn't love you, they didn't hug you. No, my mother never said I love you. My mother, no, all those things, they're just data. Don't stay there. Use that data and find healing for yourself so that you can do better for the next generation. Trauma recovery. Trauma isn't what happened, is what stayed inside of us. The body remembers, the mind repeats. You see, the brain is a meaning-making machine. So it's trying to, so every time, you find out that, have you sat down to understand your patterns? That's another thing. Sit down to understand your patterns. Why is it that I say every January 1st, I'm going to exercise. I say every January 1st, I'm going to do this. Well, every time January 20 comes, that's the end. Oh no, March 1st comes, that's the end. I'm never able to follow through with with my promises to myself. I'm never able to keep appointments with myself. I say I'm going to be waking up every day at 6 o'clock to journal, but for some reason, I'm never able to make that, stand up in the morning to make that commitment. Commitments to myself. I'm not even talking about commitments to other people. I'm saying to commitments that I've made to myself. It's hard for me to fulfill. So I find out that at certain times, have you sat down to see your patterns? At certain times of the year, all the promises I have made to myself, I start to fail on it. Why does your brain keep repeating patterns year after year, and then you think that your future is bright? It's dangerous. Trauma keeps our dendrites stuck in survival mode. But healing practices, your journaling, therapy, breathwork, prayer, signal safety to your brain. So don't take these things for granted. When they tell you journal, they're not telling you journal because journaling is a nice to do or nice to have activity. No. You can journal in journaling. It was in journaling I realized that there was something I was always saying in my journal. And I said, let's break this thing. Then do me. That's the word I asked. I said, then do you? People that are breaking out of it, I didn't know breaking out of it. Then do you? It was from journaling that I realized that, I had certain patterns. I realized that every June, July, somehow, my discipline dips. I started to find out, why does it dip? And I started to deal with it. So your therapy, go for therapy if you need to go for therapy. Don't pretend. Don't say I'm okay. Everybody says we're all right. It's not true. It's not true. There's a reason that you are not able to keep promises to yourself. There's a reason that you recycle patterns. Go for therapy. Visualize your brain like a broken tree. With one healing step, new shoots appear. Over time, the broken tree becomes a living garden again. What part of your story tonight, after listening to me, are you willing or are you ready to write again? What part of your story? Now become the cycle breaker. Healing is not just about you. We've said that before. When you heal, you rewrite the inheritance your children will receive. The dendrites you grow today, pathways of peace, self-worth, and love become the environment they grow up in. I always ask one question: what's the atmosphere in your house? What's the aura in your house? Is your house so chaotic that your children prefer to be in school than to be with you? Does your husband prefer to be at work than to be with you? Do you emanate so much chaos that going home is a pain to anybody who lives in your house? They said, oh, let's close work. Hey, close work again, or they go that house. Chai, Bible says that it's better to live on the rooftop than to live with a nagging woman. It's better. Can you imagine your husband coming back from work and going straight to the rooftop? It's an insult to you. So healing is not negotiable. It is not negotiable. It comes with a price. I'm not saying it comes in one day. I'm not saying it comes with 2 days, but be that cycle breaker. Break that cycle for yourself. Break that cycle for your children. Break that cycle for your family. I love young people I meet these days. They say things like, oh, I don't want to get married. There's a reason this is happening, because they never had good marriages modeled to them. Tell yourself that that's not where I'm going to. That's not who I'm going to be. I'm not going to model rubbish to my children. You see, there's another set of women, I meet them a lot. They say, oh, I don't want kids. Kids are a burden. Who taught them that kids were a burden if they didn't feel like a burden in their house? Do your children feel like a burden in your house? It's a terrible place to be. We need to break that cycle. We need to break these narratives. We need to change these narratives. It's not just about being visible. It's not just about, breaking invisibility narratives. We also need to show women that we are more than what we portray to be. Show our children that we are more than what women portray to be. We're not just there to service, the house. We're not just there for, showcasing and all that beautiful carcasses that carry nothing inside. No, that's not what we are there for. So we need to break those cycles. Nurturing inner peace. Peace is not a one-time event. It's not something that you say that, oh, I'm going to just, what's the word? I'm just going to be peaceful today. It's not. And it's not the absence of chaos. It's practice, it's repetition, and it's a lifestyle. You see, the day you wake up in the morning and then you had a chaotic morning, that's not the day for you to give up. You will wake up that morning, you will have the chaotic morning, but you tell yourself tomorrow is better. See, you don't give up when you are pursuing peace. You don't start to say, no, because I failed today. See, failure is just feedback. Why did I fail? Instead of saying I failed, why did I fail? What could I have done better? Review your process on a daily basis. You will get better. Anything that needs to get better needs to be reviewed on a daily basis. So take your life as something that I need to improve every day. I need to get better every day. I need to do things every day. So what did I do today that made me fail? What did I do today that made peace evasive in my own house? So it's not a one-time thing. It is repetition. See, the thing that made you chaotic and all that was repetition. The thing that will make you peaceful, the thing that will make you stable is also repetition. So even when you fail, never, ever, I keep telling my kids, it's okay to make mistakes because you will learn from those mistakes. But to be ashamed of your mistakes, that's the mistake that we made. To meet your mistakes with judgment, that's another mistake that we made. When you make a mistake, take that mistake and say, what can I learn from you? Thank you, my teacher, Mr. Mistake. What can I learn from you today? Do not take mistake and feel it with shame. Do not take mistake and embrace it with embarrassment or with or I have failed. Don't keep yourself in that cycle of judgment. When you fail, bring yourself close and say, my darling sister, Debbie, what could you have done better? What could you have done differently? And that's feedback system that you give to yourself. See, is that judgment that keeps you stuck. When you judge yourself, you criticize yourself. I'm such a fool. I hear people say things like that. I'm like, I don't understand. I'm not such a fool. Or there, you're telling yourself that self-talk that you keep telling yourself. When you make a mistake, tell yourself, like the day I packed wrong, I say, yes, Debbie, you and this big car, they will beat you one day in this UK, but it's okay. I've made a mistake. The woman was raking. The Indian man came out of his shop and said, you're not a thinking person. I say, it's okay. I'm a thinking person. It's just that today, I don't understand what happened. It happens. Don't sit down and marinate yourself in the mistakes. Meet yourself with love, and love keeps no record of wrong. It doesn't. So tell yourself, what can I learn from this? It's repetition, it's practice. And it's just the same way you would never tell a 1-year-old, or there you have failed, just because he's learning how to walk. You will not do that to a 1-year-old. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do it to yourself. Practice, repetition. You go fail, it ain't all right. Rise up, walk. It will happen again. You will yell tomorrow, but every time you meet yourself with grace, you give yourself the permission to change, the permission to, recalibrate. Each practice grows dendrites, new pathways that make peace your default instead of chaos. Sometimes you don't even realize when you've come to a place of peace. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to announce as I round up. Sometimes you don't even know when you come into a place of peace until a situation happens, and normal you from the estate, the phone don't hear your voice, but you just told yourself it's okay. Let's just calm down. And then you find yourself, you don't even know that your nervous system had been reset. You don't know. And then you say, wait. Why am I not reacting? It doesn't happen overnight. So that's the gentleness I want you to, I want to leave you with. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in one sweep. It doesn't happen in one 45-minute class. It doesn't happen in a 2-day retreat. It doesn't happen with just one teaching. You will stay in it. You will stay in it. You will fall. You will rise. You will stay in it, and you will grow. So it's repetition. It's practice. It's a lifestyle. And each practice grows dendrites, new pathways, and makes peace your default. So there are 3, this, like I said, this is just a tip of the iceberg. It's not something that goes so much deep, because of the time and the nature of the topic. Is not something you do once, it's not something you do twice. It's something you may need to stay in a program and just marinate yourself in it, and have someone hold your hand. But there are 3 simple practices I'm just going to leave us with as I round up. You can do your morning grounding exercises. You can make sure, see what works for me might not work for you, but I know prayer works. I know prayer works. When Coach Gemma was talking about in her question and answer, she said there are 8 things she does. I could relate, because I also have my own list of things I need to do in the morning. Yeah, there are days that I fail, but yes, most times I stay with those things. You see, walking, can you hear me? Sorry, I don't know what happened to my camera. Can you see me? Oh, sorry. I don't know what happened to my camera, but I'm just rounding off right now. I'm just rounding off right now. It's so you can do prayer, take a short walk in the morning. I have my walking pad here, and I just praying on the walking pad and walking at the same time. So you can combine activities. You can do things like I'm praying and I'm walking. You can have emotional check-ins with yourself. How do I feel today? What do I need? Notice how you wake up every morning. Notice the mood you wake up in. Do you always wake up sad? Do you always wake up anxious? Do you wake up disappointment? Do you wake up as if the day has, oh God, why did I wake up again today? You need to notice this thing. So do emotional check-ins. And at night, always do, a reflection. Like I said, reflect on your day, forgive yourself, release the day, speak peace. You can't always be perfect. You can't always get it right. Your kids might be upset with you about something, and it's okay. It's part of the learning process. But never ever say and conclude at the end of the day that I have failed, because you're not going to fail if you keep reviewing your process and doing all you can do to make sure that you stay in that path of healing. So I'll close with this. You are not stuck, you are rewiring. You are not stuck, you are rewiring. Every time every time you do these things that you need to do, you do the right things that you need to do, you're not stuck. You're rewiring. Every time you speak truth instead of lies, every time you nurture your inner child, every time you take one step towards healing, new dendrites are falling. Peace doesn't begin out there. It begins inside of you. Inside of you. Peace doesn't begin outside, doesn't begin in the home, doesn't begin with quiet children. My children still shout every day. Sometimes I'm like, the thing is getting into my brain. No, it starts inside of you. So I'll leave you with only one question. What is one healing step you will begin today? Because healing isn't just possible. It's already happening inside of you. Thank you so much for listening to me this evening. I'm so grateful to have your time. I'm so grateful to be, invited to this platform, and I don't take your time for granted. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Coach Debbie. Wow. There's just so much, as in, wow. The fire is firing. So right now we're going to go into our questions. In fact, I don't even know what to say. We're going to go into our question session. If you do have a question, can you just pop your question on here? Pop your question. Before that, let's just play this advert video. So our event is coming up in November 1st. Do not miss this event. Now, Coach Debbie is going to be there. And see, we have our book on here. Yeah. Yes, I got this book, and this book is so beautiful. it's a book that you can actually finish in a very short time. So ensure that you get this book. So ensure that you also attend our event in November. See you there. See where we're going to be having our events.
Yes. 1st of November, are you ready? Come on, get ready to join us on the 1st of November for this life-changing event. Are you a woman that wants to glow? You want to glow from the inside to the outside? Come, join us here. See where we'll be on the 1st of November. This beautiful building. We will be gathered here. Come as that elegant, fabulous, beautiful, glam woman that you are. Come and join us because this event is going to change your life for good. This location is located very close to the train station, so you don't have issues at all. And it is located in the beautiful city center of Stratford. So I want to see you on the 1st of November. Do not miss this event. Yes, do not miss it. You want to see Coach Wendy? You want to see Pastor Modupe? You want to see Tola of Raising Kevin? Come, don't miss it for anything. See you there.
Okay. If you are going to be there November 1st, I want you to just raise your hands. Yes, I want to see you there. Ensure that you come and invite somebody. So if you do have your questions, please can you pop your questions on the comment section? You have any question for Coach Debbie? Please pop your questions on the comment sections. We have been fired up. We've been fired up greatly. Living that peaceful life is possible. Remember that as a woman, you're an oak. Yes, you've been pruning. Pruning is very, very key. Do not forget those times of pruning. And even if you fall, you can rise again. You can still rise. So can you pop your questions on? Do you have any questions? Any questions for Coach Debbie? Please, you can follow Coach Debbie on social media, on Instagram. Also follow Coach Jenny as well, who had her session previously. You can follow them all on their social media handles. Coach Debbie is at your Discovery Coach on Instagram, and Coach Jenny is at the Exceptional Children's Academy. Ensure you follow these women, and do not forget to like, subscribe to our channel. Yes, tomorrow we are going to be live again, and tomorrow we're going to be taking it to another level. We're talking about medical aspect, talking about how to glow, what to wear, what we are going to take it to another level. So I want to see you here tomorrow. Thank you, Coach Debbie. I'm just checking out to see, is there any question for us? If there is no question for us, I'm just going to see. There are some people that are offline members. They don't want to ask their question online and they just go offline to ask questions. So let's see. So do we have any questions? Okay. I think everyone is just fired up right now. We are just, as the fire is so hot and we just want to just think about it. I'm thinking that's the way we are actually feeling at the moment. So, okay, Coach Debbie, do you have any final thing to just say to us, for just a word to say to us, and then we're going to call it a day, and we will see you here tomorrow. Please ensure you come tomorrow. Oh, someone says she has a question. Offline member, sorry, there's a question.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, I'm just going to look out for the offline question. Please drop your question. Okay, sorry, I'm just waiting out to look out for the questions. I just saw on my tab saying I have a question, and I'm just going to see what the question is. Okay, so Coach Debbie she has been a mom. She's a mom of 2 beautiful girls, and she coming out even here today to do this with us is such a privilege, because she's married to a beauty, to a handsome man that loves her, that pampers her to the core, like pampers her so much. She had to leave her vacation site and come back to do this live, and she's going back. So thank you. We do not take this for granted. It's such a privilege to be here. And like I mentioned, Debbie has written this book, Triggers. Ensure you get a copy. In this book, she talked a lot about her relationship with her and her mother. And as women, it's very, very important that reading this book, I just got to realize that sometimes we are actually pouring into our children negativity, we are pouring hatred, we are pouring sadness. It's not because we don't love them, but just because of what has clogged our hearts, just because of the trauma that we've carried on from our childhood. And if we're not careful, we pour this on our children, knowingly or unknowingly. I was seeing someone on social media, and someone this month actually, Intentional Parent Academy. We've been reading this book, resolving sibling rivalry, and it opened my eyes to a lot of things. Women also sharing about how their moms treated them, and I just began to ask myself, how do you give birth to a child and you treat your child with so much wickedness? How? But I just realized that sometimes it's not intentional.
Yeah.
It's just because of the pains that we've carried on. So as much as possible, as Coach Debbie has said, release those pains. Release yourself of all those things. It's not worth it. You need to let go. Release those pains. And so you can be able to step into your new season. You cannot glow carrying all those baggage. You know one thing, I normally tell people that how you glow is also about how you feel inside of you.
True.
If you don't know that, it's not just about what you eat. Your brain actually affects even your stomach. Now, let me tell you, if you are happy, you feel that butterfly in your stomach. When you are sad, you get anxious, even in your stomach. Have you ever felt like you are purging because you are anxious? Your brain, our body parts are all connected.
Connected.
So the
Yeah.
way you feel is very, very important. So if you want to glow, you have to release all those pain.
Absolutely.
Release all those sadness, all those baggage that you've carried on for many years. Release them because it shows even in your eyes. Yes. You see some people, their eyes are aging. It's showing in your eyes. It's showing in your look. You are sad. How does someone know? They see it in your face. Your brain, your heart, your mind, everything is connected. So I want to say to you, man, today, release those pain, release those sadness. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Someone, I'm just going to ask this question. Someone is asking, how do you navigate? Sorry, I'm just going to say. So, you say, how do you navigate the advice that the Black person has to be the best and most knowledgeable in the team to rise when it comes to your Black career mentor? I'm going to read it again. So, he said, how do you navigate the advice that the Black person has to be the best and most knowledgeable in the team to rise when it comes to your Black career mentor? I don't know, but me paraphrasing, I'm like, okay, possibly as a Black person, we are always on the spot. We are always putting that pressure. Come, you are Black. You have to show yourself. You have to be this. You have to be that. So how do you navigate through those seasons?
So the thing about it is that that you can operate from, you can be excellent, but it depends on the ground you're operating. So you're operating from a ground that says, I'm excellent, right? God says that I will excel in all I do. It's not, so there's an operation that comes from trauma. That operation keeps you on your toes, you're not excelling because excellence is wired in your system. You're operating because something tells you have to keep running. They're excellent people. See, when you meet a very excellent person who is excellent in all that they do, who is excellent, doesn't matter whether they're black, white, pink, green, or yellow, it's because they are settled in their system. You achieve more from being settled as a person in who you are, in your system. You see, when the Bible says that he had given us the mind of Christ, you're operating from that mind of Christ. You're operating from a healed space. It's different from the operation of I have to. So that one, you are chasing, you are constantly chasing. You don't even understand why you are chasing. You don't understand why you are never able to rest. Even when you're sleeping, you're chasing dollar, you're chasing pounds, you're chasing something. There's an unsettledness that comes from that excellence. It's not one, I don't call it excellence. Because you're building, but you cannot find what you're building. But when is that you came into a place, you came with your cool spirit, your calm spirit, you came with, you knew who you were, you came with, I am born to dominate. The Bible says that we have dominion over the over the animals and other creatures, when you know your own, you know that you were born for dominance, but you're not. It's not this dominance that comes from struggle. It's not the dominance that comes from I can't sit down and rest. I know people who take shifts back to back. They only sleep for 1 hour and they're proud of themselves. Is that rest? When the Bible says I will give you rest for your soul, rest for your soul means that you will it's not that you're not working, but when you find rest for your soul, your hard work is not from a place of struggle. You see, when God said to Adam, he said, you will till the ground that was from the curse. It was from the curse. So there's an excellence that tells you that I want to till this ground. So you find them. There was one day I told somebody, I said, see this, you're constantly tilling the ground, but the ground is hard for you. It's a state of all sorts. It's a state of you're not healed, you don't know who you are, you don't know who God is, you're living post-sin stage. You haven't found that stage before Christ, before the fall. You're living as you are living off the fall. You're living, because there was a fall and then something happened. You see, you had to till the ground. You had to cry before those were not the things that God promised us. The things that God promised us was before the fall. And Jesus Christ has died to, redeem us from that. So there's a lot that I can unpack from that question. But, considering what we are talking about, you cannot just say that, you want to excel and then you're trying to excel from the wrong soil. Whatever you plant in the wrong soil does not yield results, because it will crumble one day. If it's not a soil that grows, it's not a soil that is profitable to you, it's not a soil that prospers. If it's not a soil that is blessed, it's still a curse. Does that answer the person's question? Let me ask them.
Thank you so much. Yes,
because it was a little bit vague.
I think it did. I'll just say, doing something with pain, striving, you're not happy about what you're doing. But you're just doing it to fulfill all righteousness. I just want to be the best because I'm a Black person. No. But getting to that point where you are doing it with joy, you want to be the best because you want to be the best for yourself. You want to be happy in yourself, but not because, just like Cain and Abel. Sure. That was what brought sibling rivalry. Abel, maybe God was always blessing Abel's supply. And Cain was still doing everything, but it was just not coming forth. And with pain and everything. And how would God bless you? God is not going to bless you when you are doing it with pain. For instance, as a mother, you send your child, two of your children, you go get me this, and you go get me the other thing. One of them is going with anger and murmuring. Have you ever sometimes, come back, don't even do it again? I have done that sometimes. I'm like, okay, if you're not going to do this happily, don't do it. Mm-hmm. But the one that goes with all joy and is happy doing it, good, and you're happy about it, in fact, and you're blessing that child, and you're also like, okay, take this reward, take this little thing as a reward, because you're doing it with joy. Sure. So I think that is it for me. Yeah. So any other question? We need to call it a day now. Any other question? I think there's no more question. I will say thank you so much, Coach Debbie, for being here. One thing that has been profound, which Coach Debbie has mentioned and Coach Jenny has also mentioned, is journaling. Journal. I have a lot of journals. I have lots of journals that I love to find around. And that is why I create this. Oh my God, I can see your journals. I created
all these are journals. I need to get my True and Blow journal. I need to get it.
You need to get it. I created this wellness journal, specially curated.
Let me just do it now.
This journal you can get it on Amazon. Trim and Glow 90 Days Wellness Journal. This journal has for you to journal your gratitude every day, your affirmation daily, what you've had for breakfast, what you've had for lunch, what you've had for dinner, how many liters of water you've taken in a day, what you've had as snack. I know most importantly, how many times did you open your bowel? How many times did you go to toilet? Yes, It's very important. So you know what? Journaling is key in every aspect of your life. One thing happened to me actually some time ago. I have a journal. I also have online journal as well on my phone, which I journal. I realized I had something that happened at work, I had a misunderstanding with someone at work. I realized that same event happened few months again after. But how was I able to know that? Because of my journal. And it happened the same pattern, the same way. But I was just scrolling to my journal and I'm like, wow, this same thing happened. This same event. So that actually helped me to tell myself, okay, I'm not going to let this happen again. So journaling is so powerful. It's very powerful. So ensure that you journal. Journal even about your health. Women, it is very important. It is very key. In your wellness journey, journal. It will help you to also track. I know when my skin wants to break down, I know. Because I will track, okay, what have I eaten? How have I been eating? Track. How much have I been drinking? How many times have I gone to the toilet? Okay, am I going to be constipated tomorrow? I would know from my journal. So please journal. So and that's me telling you, go to Amazon and go get the Trim and Glow 90 Days Journal. And if you're in the UK, do not miss the 1st October event. This event is for you. See, Coach Wendy, for those of us in TIP, this is not parenting, the parenting. No, this is now I'm talking to us about we women, about you as a woman. So because we all need that self-care. In this event, ensure if you are coming, come looking glam with your beautiful gown, beautiful fascinator. Come as the queen that you are. We're going to be eating, whining, dining, and we are going to be charged up, fired up. Thank you so much, mamas, for joining me today. And thank you so much, Coach Debbie, for joining me. It's such a privilege to have you. See you all tomorrow. Let us all have a great day. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. 1st of November, are you ready? Come on, get ready to join us on the 1st of November for this life-changing event. Are you a woman that wants to glow? You want to glow from the inside to the outside? Come, join us here. See where we'll be on the 1st of November. This beautiful building. We will be gathered here. Come as that elegant, fabulous, beautiful, glam woman that you are. Come and join us because this event is going to change your life for good. This location is located very close to the train station, so you don't have issues at all. And it is located in the beautiful city center of Stratford. So I want to see you on the 1st of November. Do not miss this event. Yes, do not miss it. You want to see Coach Wendy. You want to see Pastor Modrupe. You want to see Tola raising Kevin. Come, don't miss it for anything. See you there.